Hello, welcome back to Bool Boys Pod, episode 52. It's been officially 1 year of episodes. We've been going for about a year and a half, so special thanks to especially Binagu in the top right there and 53385 in the bottom there for being here for a year and a half. But I really appreciate it. So for this episode, we're kind of doing something special. We brought two of the reoccurring Bool Boys guests, Daloo and Ponzi Kun. We're going to do a quick Vietnam recap. Ryan just went to Vietnam for the first time, so he wants to talk about his return, the Vietnam's first son return. That's what I like to call it. Yeah. Vietnam's first son's return. Yeah. Then we're going to do NBA's biggest busts. There's been a lot of discontent with the NBA. And so we can just talk about who's been the most disappointing, who's been the biggest busts. And then very similar to Bill Simmons' watchability tier list, we're going to rank who we think who are the best teams to watch to the teams that we don't even want to give our time to and avoid at all costs. So that's part two. So to recap, Brian's going to start us off. Then we're going to move into biggest NBA busts and then a watchability tier list. Then as always, finish with top five and Buller busts, which is extra special today because we got Andrew and Pons. So first of all, thank you all guys for coming, doing this for a year. I'm very happy to have you guys. What's up?
Just chilling, dude.
Chilling.
Congrats on a year. You guys have been putting in work for a long time. It's nice to see the follow through in the continuity.
No said it best. It's like it's gonna be a good like video diary of the Bool Boys.
Yeah, I mean
10, 15 years, 20 years down the line. It'll be cool to come
back.
It
can be more than
that. At the very least.
It can be more than that. It can be more than just a video diary.
Yeah, maybe more 60 or 70. Yeah.
To the top with the Bool Boys.
So glad to have Jesse and Andrew, but let's start with Brian. Brian came back from Vietnam earlier this week. How was it, man?
Yeah, dude. So thanks for letting me take the time. Just like,
I want to hear about it.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about it because it's like, I mean, the joke always has been, I've been to Japan like 3 times, Korea twice, haven't been to Vietnam, and I'm 30, 32. And so being able to go back, again, it's a little regretful I didn't go earlier. It was just very fun to see where my mom was from, was one place that I went to, and where my dad was from. And then they're actually, because they're outside of the city, one of them is like a beach town. So my mom's basically from the beach town of Vietnam called Da Nang, and it's very Hawaii-esque, honestly, like right by the beach. And then kind of like that main road of Da Nang looks like the main road of like Waikiki or something. Obviously not quite as nice, but kind of has that vibe to it. And then the city around it's just like a cool, beach town, basically. And that's where my mom is from.
It's beautiful, dude.
That's where you get the surf.
Looking at the pictures, it's legitimately
exactly. So it's like I've always been down for water, dude. Maybe just run through the blood or something, dude. Fucking. But so that was pretty cool. And then went to Saigon. It's just like a crazy city. Pretty polluted though. I gotta say, Vietnam is pretty polluted after a full trip there. Definitely just waking up in the middle of the night, fucking coughing a lung. You know what I mean? Because it's Hanoi is straight smoke, but it was pretty cool. And like the lot where my dad is from, it's just like basically like a cool mountain town. That's where my friend's wedding was at. The streets are nice enough that it even reminds you of some like East Asian country kind of streets of just like nice things to do, really, really next to each other, and like really cool bars and restaurants and stuff. So it was a nice teaser. And I definitely would like to go back sooner rather than later. Basically, I got a lot of fire clips.
I
got a lot of
4K HD, 60 FPS,
ridiculously fire clips that I need to go through and like edit. But
Brian, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know I can speak for Ashwin when it's like you go to India for us, right? You go to India for the first time, and it's like, so I went to India for the first time when I was 8 years old, right? And it's not even that it's like the motherland, right? It's like a completely different kind of like viewpoint to like, people's lives, right? Like it's a totally different kind of experience than Irvine.
Yeah, for sure.
And so for me, I mean, what was
the absence
like,
of experience, man?
I mean, okay, it's a different experience. Anyways, what I'm trying to ask is like, what is your like? Did you have any takeaways like as you know, going back as an adult for the first time? Like maybe there's like some kind of like specific takeaways that you had as like a child of immigrants, right? That you may not have had the first time that if you had gone like when you were like 8 years old or something,
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, I just think of seeing how hard these towns are thriving, like in having now also traveled to other countries. It's that, Vietnamese people are really, number one, really nice, and they work really hard to build these like pretty functional, societies and like, cities like a beach town. And it's like, there's just like nice shit around. And I had mentioned this a bunch, like it's a lot nicer than I had expected. And that's probably just built, not number one, not putting the time to understand what the actual kind of current situation is. And then, probably just like too much association with imagery of war-torn Vietnam that I just never like updated in my frame of reference. You know what I mean? So it's very nice. It's just very much nicer than I expected. And the Vietnamese people are hardworking people.
I have two quick questions. If Andrew or Sabes doesn't have anything,
go for it.
Go for it.
Best meal. What's the best meal in Vietnam?
Well, that's a good question.
So there's a dish in Vietnamese called chả cá, which is basically like yellowfish, and it's very, I would say, very nondescript. Every time I've had it in the States, just like like basically like a boiled fish, noodles, and like some spices and stuff. And like I never really liked it, but I had it at a place there, and it kind of like totally changed what I thought the meal was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Having grown up eating it and stuff, but having it at a place that was known for it, that was just some random place in Saigon. And it was like, I had a total frame shift of what the dish was supposed to be. So I was like, that was probably the best one.
What's the dish called?
Chả cá.
Jackass?
Jackass.
Jackass.
Yeah.
CHACA.
Yeah.
Second one was favorite city or suburb.
I mean, the coolest one was Hoi An. It's like a pretty. I mean, obviously, it has a lot of tourist shit, but like, it's where the Lantern Festival was.
Oh, I see.
Like they still keep to a lot of the original, as much as more than other places in Vietnam, to like the original kind of cultural buildings and kind of.
No, it's actually the sea. It's on the coast. Okay, interesting. Yeah, do you want to say what you said to us while you were there, Brian? You want to put it out on the
air? 90 percentile height, and then 99 percentile fitness. I'm strolling down the streets like Conor McGregor, dude.
Did this contribute to your enjoyment of the trip?
I mean, barely. Come on. Come on, dude.
Be honest.
I'm a much more thoughtful man than that. Just making a few gaffes, guys. Just making a few gaffes.
What was the most surprising thing that you got wrong in your head about it before you went over there, basically?
Most surprising.
What perception do you think you had most wrong, and then that was changed the most, basically, when you got there?
Probably, like I mentioned, that it's a lot nicer than I thought, and then also I was thinking that Vietnamese people would be able to speak a little bit more English, but they can't really.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty not well spoken there,
even in big Saigon.
Yeah, I mean, some people will, you know what I mean, but in a lot, even in Saigon, a lot of areas, it's okay, people don't speak English well at all, basically.
I feel like that's you just kind of have that assumption. I remember when when we went to Spain, actually, you remember getting off the plane and immediately trying to talk to that taxi driver in English, and he just cannot tell what we're talking about. and like we just assumed that everybody would. I mean,
Oh,
I'm not saying that
even Mexico City, man. I was in Mexico City last month. Like, no one spoke English. I was very surprised, unless they were like at a hotel or something. Anybody on the street?
We as like English speakers like to think we're heliocentric, but it's not like that really. Like even in India where they like teach English heavily, like it's emphasized. Like I would say 20% of the people that you talk to can actually speak English.
It was better in Delhi than it was in Mexico City, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not that surprised about that because they like force English on you in India, but it's artifact of the British, dude. Artifact of the British. The rule.
I believe it's like one of the official languages of India, whereas Mexico.
It is. So that assumption, you would assume that more people would actually be able to speak English, right? But
India is very complicated linguistically. Not to get too derailed. Yeah.
No, we'll say that for another pod.
Long conversation.
Yeah. Okay. NBA busts. So we are now, I think, 1/3 in, almost 1/3 or 1/4.
Yeah, pretty much a third.
Third, I think. Yeah, like a third.
So a little bit less than one, or a little bit over 1/3.
So yeah, we're at like 28 to 30 games for a lot of people, or 25 to 30 games for a lot of people. So there is like the angle where we all have a lot of our opinions are shaped by fantasy. Try not to do it all on fantasy. Like they're busts outside of fantasy. So like I mentioned, we'll go in a circle. Everyone can nominate a bust, and then after we say we get like 10 or 12, we'll pick our top 5 busts. Does that work? Yeah. All right. Anyone want to go first? Any busts? Anyone? I mean,
I feel like I have a good one.
We should get this one out the way first, actually, because it's not a player or a team. I feel like it's gonna warrant the most discussion, and I would say it's like been ballyhooed about a lot, but it's the scheduling. Like that's the biggest bust. Like this ramp, like you can't have 11 games one night and then 3 games the next night. It doesn't really. There's no rhyme or reason. Like yesterday, there were 3 games. On Saturday, I think there were 11. I might be a little off in the numbers, but like there has to be a little more consistency night to night. Like I think aiming to have maybe 6 or 7 games a night rather than overloading games, treating games like slop, which I feel like the NBA schedule makers basically do. It's just like, here's a shitload of games.
Yeah.
Slop. Enjoy your slop.
But I feel like it's like a red herring for the real issue of like, there's way too many games, right?
Yeah, of course.
I agree with that.
Like, we can talk about scheduling, and scheduling obviously this year has been like the most ass it's ever been, especially from like we're not trying to do a fantasy bent, right? But like from a fantasy perspective, obviously it's been terrible. And then from like
I enjoyed the past weeks of fewer games.
But that's what I'm saying. From like a watchability perspective, it's the opposite, right? Where you're like, there's a scarcity of games, so you're going to be paying like last night, for example, there's only 3 games on, right? Yesterday, there was only 3 games. I feel like that's more palatable rather than having like an 11-game Sunday slate where the games start at like, they'll start at 12, right? Which doesn't even make sense. So you're then like compacting these 11 games into like the 12 o'clock slot Pacific to like the 7 o'clock slot starting time. And it's 11 games, right? So my thing, I would love to see like less games, but I think we all know that's never going to happen. So invariably, the topic of discussion is
they won't do it for records. I feel like it's just like
it's TV money
and money.
It's mainly money. I don't think they care about.
I would say it's money too.
Yeah.
It's definitely money. It's definitely money. But doesn't that kind of like it feels like weakness from the NBA where it's like, okay, if we increase game scarcity like the NFL model where the NFL model is like it's must-watch TV, right? Like there's only 18 or whatever, 18 games, right?
17, but
17 games, like having 82 games, just like it becomes. So this is not my take. I heard it from somebody else, but he referred to it as like an inventory sport, right? Where essentially you like have this full, like this huge inventory of games where you're not really interested in actually watching the whole game through unless you're like a diehard fan. You have accessibility to like the best parts of the NBA through like Instagram, for example, right? You're looking for like highlights, you're looking for like dank ass plays, you're looking for like really heated dramatic moments, like like Trae Young getting booed by the stadium for whatever, like that kind of stuff. Or like hype dunks. You can ingest all of that on Instagram. You don't actually have to watch a game to get the hype moments, which is the whole reason that the NBA is even palatable to begin with, like for the regular season.
So,
right?
So
a hype matchup, like a sick dunk, right? Like.
So what's your bust then, Jesse? So
my bust
is thinking scheduling is like, is there a secondary bust there? That is it just the IST?
I would say
they had 82 games for many years, and it was never a problem. So it's the new variable is the IST. It's
all contextual. It's contextual as well, right? In terms of like the overall like attention space, right? Like you can think about like back in the day, right? There wasn't Instagram, there wasn't social media. Like when you sat down to watch a game, you were not on your phone. Like how many times have you watched? Like how many times have I watched the Lakers game and said, "Oh, I watched the whole game," but really I'm like playing Magic on my phone for like 60% of the game. Like I'm looking up. It doesn't really fucking matter, right? Even for me, like a diehard Lakers fan, I watch all the games. Like I'm still not watching the whole game. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's two things that have changed. The IST, obviously, they've tried to jam it in, and I think that's a huge mistake. I feel like the ultimate solution to fix both All-Star Weekend, and it's not my idea. I've heard a few people say it, and it's something I've thought about, but I agree with it. You replace the All-Star game with the final of the IST. You pull you spread the tournament out a little bit more, and you just you finish it that weekend before the Super Bowl, which is ultimately what the All-Star Weekend is going to end up being, because the NFL is coming for President's Day weekend. That's just kind of inevitable. When they add the 18th game, you look at the schedule, it's going to be pushed back 1 week. The NFL's always wanted the Super Bowl to fall on a holiday weekend.
Look at these Christmas Day games, dude. They didn't have Christmas Day games before.
Oh, yeah. That's gone, though. You've lost Christmas already. And the NBA is operating. This is it's been talked about, but the NBA is operating from like a place of fear. Like they're seeing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They have to reckon with the fact that they're not ever going to be on equal. Like nobody's going to care about the NBA as much as they care about the NFL in this country.
I think here's the issue, right? Where it's like from an NBA like management perspective, because it's an inventory sport where you have this huge breadth of games over a long period of time, you make up the TV revenue by just having that inventory, right?
Of course.
Like, because you have this huge volume of watchability, you inevitably will make up the difference. But it's just like the product. Like, why would you be happy with a mediocre product that succeeds by just having volume over other sports, right? Like you would desire the product to be like super watchable and super good if you really cared about the overall like product of the game, right?
There's probably a third problem that we're not considering, and it's the fact that the death of regional sports networks. Like you look at the streaming TV packages, the only company that I believe that carries regional sports packages is Fubo TV. Not many people are subscribed to Fubo TV. It's a good service.
The clothing brand.
Yeah, nobody really.
That's Fubo, dude.
Fubo, Fubo. I think Fubo, and there might be maybe DirecTV streaming service. I don't know what DirecTV Now maybe, but YouTube TV doesn't have regional sports networks. Hulu doesn't have regional sports networks. You're asking people to pay for for their standard TV package, and then asking them to pay for a separate standalone streaming service, like streaming package for that 100%. One channel. It's the inaccessibility of local market games is also kind of killing it.
But like at the end of the day, you can boil it down to user experience, Brian. Like,
yes.
would I rather just like go on Stream East and have the entire slate of games at my disposal, or like sign up for all these bullshit regional like. I paid for the $20 a month Spectrum just to watch the Lakers because I got fed up with streaming, but I would never pay for League Pass, right? Like if that product,
I do the opposite.
I pay for League Pass.
That's fair.
Yeah, League Pass is a much better deal.
But I would say the majority would prefer to just not pay the $150
I think we've
I'd
got
agree with
enough
you.
on scheduling, but like I want to get Andrew's take on this too. But like to be clear, we think that one of the biggest busts has been scheduling, and Siebes
I think
is
it's the biggest.
the biggest bust, and
Yeah.
Jesse had like a sub bust under that, which is like a scheduling timing issue, right, or scarcity issue. Too many games, yeah. And then Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I no, I mean, I do agree that one of the biggest problems is there's too many games, and like it's just hard. You see these players, they don't give a fuck during the regular season. Like if the players don't care about an 82 game season, like it's hard for the fans to care. Like,
Tyrese Halliburton?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, he's one of my busts. Spoiler alert, but like, yeah, I don't know. The product, it's a culmination of things. Like going back to your point where it was like, the only difference between now and back when we were, the NBA was at its peak for us is the IST. Like, I also just think it's not like, I mean, maybe because we were Laker fans and we don't have Kobe and that shit to watch, but just the product as a whole this shit is trash, dude. Like it's just not as enjoyable. I'm gonna be honest.
The bad games are just especially bad,
right? Like
yeah.
Social media.
I think that's mostly it.
This level of like gaming, I'm watching games on my second monitor while I'm playing like World of Warcraft. That I never did that when I was 15. That's a totally different like attention market that you're trying to capture, right?
That's true.
So I think the next layer, right, is like when you have a sport like the NFL where it's scarcity, you're less inclined to spend the entire game on your phone because that is the only game of the week, right? As opposed to I'm going to watch the Lakers 4 times a week, right? So maybe I'll get up for like the Lakers Kings matchups and I won't spend it.
Save that for the next segment. That's exactly what we're going for the next segment. Yeah, like where you put your teams. I think there's not that much must-see players and or teams in the league right now, and because of that, a lot of these teams are not like what you would say like full attention viewing, and that's hurting it too. But save that for the second segment. So for the busts, I had more players. Anyone have like, I guess I can nominate one more, would be like refereeing. In general, I've been discontent with refereeing and like seeing some of these calls, seeing easily missed calls that are like they're right in their face and they just have no recourse to like fix it. And then the fact that like I've mentioned it many times, like when there's money involved in betting, you make it a betting sport, there needs to be like confidence that you feel like the outcome was just. And I feel like that is being kind of degraded too with NBA fans a little bit. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, Brian.
I mean, I feel like it's a lot of the it kind of feels like a gambling aspect or something is just kind of influencing a lot of the I don't know. I don't think it's like overt, but you always have to wonder, like, is there influence from gambling given how large it's become?
I just want to throw it out there. That was my overarching thing. Yeah,
I have a very specific take on this because I feel like this year specifically, I think every year there's a lot of very regrettable calls, especially like in the 2-minute reports, etc. Like, I think that's just kind of like the nature of the game and the nature of sports. I do think that like this year in particular, there has been a better emphasis on letting defenders defend. Which I have enjoyed. Like, there's a lot less like, I mean, guys like Shea will always get a whistle, but when like
he's a bust.
yeah, but when but I do feel like overall, like the league has made a conscious effort in reducing the amount of foul baiting overall, and I do think that has contributed a little bit to the watchability, right? Like. And it goes back to like the in-game versus out-of-game kind of changes that you can make for watchability. But I do think that is like one of the better changes that they made for watchability of the sport is like calling less of those.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have actually noticed it in a meaningful way when I watch games. Like calls that I would assume would be called last year or the year before are not being called this year, which I like.
If we bitch all the time and don't give them... Yeah, it is. If we bitch all the time and we don't give them kudos when they actually make a positive change, then we lose like credibility as
It's a
like,
process.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I've had less
no,
of a problem with officiating this year. I'll be honest. I think it's mostly been okay.
I think the
I
best
just
it
think it's
was
inconsistent.
Yeah.
After they made like the memo last year, and there was this huge shift like out of nowhere. I forget if it was like right after All-Star break or whatever, but like
It was.
foul
Yeah, it
calls
was after
got cut
All-Star
in
break.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like one game where there was like 2 free throws all game between like the Celtics and Cavs, and like that was when I was like, okay, I can start enjoying this shit.
There was a
again, but-
Kings game last year that I recall where they basically were beating the shit out of each other. I think it might have been Kings Knicks, and it was like a very funny game to watch because it was like, all right, man, like maybe you've gone slightly too far with no calls. But
Steves and Andrew, though, didn't you like? Wasn't there a game between the same two teams, Cavs and Boston, where the final like Bill brought it up, like the final like 2 minutes were all free throws, anyways.
That was because of intentional
fouling
fouling.
up 3.
Okay,
It was like the last minute, yeah.
Like apparently 25 of the last 27 points were from free throw line or something. Yeah, so like that's why I thought it would be more of the same from what you said, Andrew. Like more of the grit, more of the manliness, but it seemed like less of it. Any more overarching NBA busts, or you want to go into players?
Let's get into.
Just a real quick one on that point. The fouling, intentionally fouling when you're up 3. Fuck that.
You have to. You should do it. I hate this.
I know, but I hate it because it takes away high threes. Like,
are we watching a real sport? Or are we doing like WWE sports entertainment? Because when you take away stuff like that, I actually think you get into like, yeah, this is not like a real sport anymore. We have to like emphasize entertainment.
The right play, but I don't like it for the entertainment.
I don't like it either. I'll be honest. I don't like it, but I think it's like if you don't do it, you look like an idiot.
Yeah. I have a team bust before we go to players. Can I do a team bust?
Quickly,
team bust.
Yeah.
The Utah Jazz, dude. It's not that they suck. I don't care about that because I have John Collins. I watch a lot of Jazz, right? Like,
yeah.
Why are you doing that?
It's a song. I don't know. But anyways, like since Danny Ainge has taken over, like all this like stuff that he purportedly brings to the table, what has he actually meaningfully done in the time that he's taken over with the Jazz? Like he's had marketing on the block for years now, basically. He's stockpiling assets that aren't even that very, like, not even very good. And he's still like they're still going out there and winning a meaningful amount of games. They're 7-20 right now.
That's so meaningful.
So meaningful. They should be like why are they like?
I have a rebuttal, but anybody else?
Wrong. I actually think
I'll watch a little bit of Jazz for Walker Kessler because I have.
It's like also
fucking horrible to watch.
So it's
like I'm just there just hoping Kessler gets boards and blocks. I'm like, this is degenerate.
Trade him to me,
right? Watching this.
Yeah. Like, what is the point of stock? Like he's stock like.
Because
Kessler's
Cooper Flag would be the perfect star.
Yeah, that's my read. Utah has to build through the draft, dude. No one's gonna come there.
Yeah. Also, Cooper Flag will be like the biggest megastar in the city of in Utah history.
No, I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that. I'm saying like, are they doing enough? And also like, what
they can't trade Markkanen, if you recall. They signed him to the extension.
Team right now. They're kind of in a shit situation.
7-20 is not like if they were like 11-19, I would agree with you. But 7-20 is pretty shit, man. They're on the way to shit.
Yes, I mean you would think that Ainge would be able to cook up like with his reputation, you know, that he has.
How long has it been? How long has he been there?
A year and a half.
4 years, probably. I think
3 years. I think 3 years.
For sure.
Markkanen has a no trade clause.
It takes a while to influence an org.
Yeah, the
can't trade Markkanen this season.
We'll bring this up, dude. I gotta call out Danny Ainge, dude.
But yeah, like I don't know if Markkanen has a no trade clause this season essentially because of the timing of when they signed him to his extension. So Markkanen will be there this year and they won't be shopping him.
Okay.
That's kind of just like they're just a dull team and they seem to be like de-emphasizing Markkanen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't get it. It's just weird.
I mean, aren't they like not?
There's a few team busts.
Yeah.
Like it's different than like Chicago, where you could say, "Oh, past ownership, blah blah blah," right? But when you say Danny Ainge is at the helm, you expect like 3 years is a good enough time. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. No, it's a fair bust. Siebes, you go next, then we'll go to Andrew, then Brian, counterclockwise.
We do. Is it player and team busts?
Either or is fine.
I mean, we all are coming into this pod after having watched the first half of the Sixers, and I feel like they have to be pick number one for biggest bust on the season. And I guess like they're watchable because of how dysfunctional. Like they're watchable in the same way that Aaron Rodgers' Jets have been watchable this season, where you're just like, this is very funny. Like I can't believe what I'm watching. How has this been such a clusterfuck? But like they are a bust because they were supposed to be like in this heated three-way race in the East with the Celtics and the Knicks, and it was supposed to be like, oh, look at these triumvirate of dank Atlantic Division teams, and it's just like, man, this team is ass. Like Paul George is. Paul George is making the Clippers look smart, but I am reticent to give the Clippers too much credit because they still offered him a fuck ton of money. It was just like a 1 year difference.
38%.
So like,
right now,
I do enjoy seeing I do think it's funny to see the Clippers victory laps when it's like you guys wanted him pretty badly too. Like, stop fucking lying to yourselves.
Yeah. They could have. They would have.
Yeah, if it was 1 year less, they would have had him on like pretty much similar money and been committed to him for 1 year less than the Sixers.
I had Sixers as a team bust as well.
Yeah, I think they have to be number one pick, honestly.
It's like the easy. But do you guys think there's a chance in hell they actually miss the play-in?
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah,
One more
they're
PG
guaranteed a
injury,
spot.
and they might not make the plan.
They'll make the play-in as like a 9 or a 10, I'd say at the worst.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys...
other teams would be devastated if they made it. That's the problem. The other teams would be like fucking
devastated by success. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My question on Embiid, Philly is Embiid the bigger bust, or is Philly as a whole a bigger bust?
I think the vibes are busty in Philly as a whole.
It has to be management, dude. It has to be management. Like it's a culture of malaise.
Well, I mean, this year specifically, like it's a pretty big Embiid problem.
He's the
like,
giving too many games.
5 games.
Yeah, he's giving too many games. He comes back in a game and gets ejected in like crazy fashion. It's like, bro, you already don't play that. You already don't play that much, man. Like, you can't be getting ejected like this. Like,
Embiid has not been on another team. Okay, there's been one regime change, right? Essentially, one big regime change.
I think two.
Maybe two.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe two big.
There was the homie.
So he's like the only constant.
Colangelo.
He's the only constant, right? He's been the only constant on the Sixers team, right? So I mean, maybe I am disproving my own issue or like my own idea here, but maybe it is an Embiid malaise. But there is like a culture of malaise around the Sixers that just like it feels like a bad situation. And like when you have Embiid as your main guy, I don't know, like it just doesn't seem like. I'm not saying like a leadership perspective, like he's just never healthy when you need him to be.
I had Embiid at the top of my list as the busts, so I feel like Andrew. I don't know if I want to speak for Andrew, but I feel like it's more of an Embiid problem.
But what about Paul George?
I mean, Paul George is like he's pretty ass, but Maxey and Embiid is enough to be a top 6 team in the East.
Yeah, I actually think Paul George will be fine.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe not
he was
in the
really
end of the contract, but
year.
at least for the first year.
I know he was. Right? I was a big fan of the signing.
Yeah.
You don't think at the end of the contract? You mean like this year, right, Andrew?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine this year. He's had a couple of just weird injuries, but he'll be fine.
All right, so we got the Embiid Philly thing. Moving on to Daloo.
Well, just because it's, I mean, not my hometown, but secondary hometown team. I'm going with the Pacers and piece of shit Tyrese Halliburton. He's actually, to be fair, he's actually played much better since the first month of the season. But and yeah, this is bad timing because the Pacers are on a 4-game win streak. But before this win streak, they were 10-15, coming off an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, which granted was a cakewalk because of the injuries. But I thought they'd be at least a top 5 seed. And like, I don't know, the entire. And it does all revolve around Halliburton. Like, honestly, I've watched more Pacer games than probably any other team because of Halliburton. But like, the system is completely different. Like, they don't run with the same sort of offense and pace. It's not really that fun to watch.
Yes.
And like, yeah, a lot of the times it's like there's no joy in where they're playing right now. So it's like, I don't know. I mean,
Pascal, but I kind of agree with Andrew. I've watched a lot because of Pascal, and they're just not that fun. Last year, I thought they were like one of the most fun teams to watch.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
this year, I don't really enjoy watching them. They kind of seem. What I feel like might be happening is they started to play this slower style in the playoffs when they made their run, and maybe it's Carlisle trying to coach in different habits so they are more sustainable when they make the playoffs. But like,
Right.
dog, you got to get to the playoffs and have home court or something to actually get there. You know, like they don't seem to have the same. I don't know. They're not as same verve. That's a good word. Yeah, it might be because Halliburton is still nursing some sort of injury and can't drive the bus as quickly, but I don't know.
Snow Bundy syndrome.
I know Andrew's very alarmist about Halliburton, but I feel like I'm not super worried about Halliburton. Like I feel like
I'm not either.
He's been pretty ass for a while, dude.
I mean,
even like starting from the middle of my season.
Not really, man. I don't think it's been a while.
It's been like a full year almost.
It's been a full year.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
He made a playoff run. Like
he was up and down during the run, though.
But if you're wanting to justify
you would
him
expect
as
that
a
in the
top player,
playoffs, though, right? Sorry. Go ahead,
he'd have to be like at his highest level, which was like 24 and 12 or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He was an MVP conversation before his injury.
50. Like
he looked like
to justify him being like a top 10 guy, if that's what he's supposed to be, like he has to be playing much better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
sure. I mean, I'm not claiming that he's the top 10 guy. I'm just saying I'm not worried about him like long term.
But
I am.
Urgency is manufactured by Andrew, dude.
They still won the trade over a team that I'm sure will end up on the bust list at some point as we continue discussing this.
Yes. Any more, Andrew? I mean, I guess we're taking a long time on this, so maybe we can speed it up. Just any more you want to yell out, Andrew? Just that one bust was Indy?
For now, I'll see if there's. I'll let other people go.
Beanigu?
I mean, I hate to say it. We were chatting a little bit about it yesterday, but Zion.
Right here.
I hate to say it. I love Zion, man, but he just can't stay on the court, and it's year 6. I think that's just like you're getting pretty deep in, and you can't string together like a cohesive number of games that look like how good you were in your second year. You know what I mean? And it's 4 years later, and you haven't looked nearly as good. So
is he officially the biggest bust of all time now?
No,
fuck no. Get the fuck
out
of here.
No.
I was talking.
He's not even
some
a bust.
really hype years. At least he had some really hype years.
What I was talking about with Justin, so he's kind of like Ralph Sampson of this era, where like he had this immense amount of hype coming into the league. It looked really great early, and injuries have derailed it. I don't know if it's going to end as sad.
So then let's contextualize. Like, who is the biggest bust? Who do we think is the biggest?
Anthony fucking Bennett, dude. Come on.
Okay. Because he wasn't actually injured; he was just trapped.
Yeah,
it was a weird pick. Also, you have to say Michael Olowokandi is a bigger bust. You have to say there's a lot of
not like Greg Oden.
Olowokandi was better than Bennett.
Greg Oden.
Bust is also contextual.
Well, if you're considering Oden a bust, then you would consider. If you're not considering, then you can't consider Zion a bust. It's the same thing.
I think.
Oden's
a bust for injuries. There's 2 different ways to be a bust, like for injuries or. You're just trash. It's basically you're just not getting as much value at the number 1 pick.
Of injuries. It's like it goes hand in hand. Bust and injuries. It's sad to say, but it kind of.
So then, like Michael Carter Williams, like that.
No,
Michael Carter Williams was pretty solid. I would say
he wasn't a number 1 pick.
Was he? No, he was like a number 7 pick though, wasn't he, or 6?
Yeah, he was great for
he won Rookie of the Year.
He had a lot of good years. I feel like he had a lot of pretty good years.
I mean, yes, he peaked in his first game, but.
There's a lot bigger busts than Zion.
Anybody else, Brian? You want to yell?
It's kind of a question mark. Is Randall a bust because he's a team killer, dude?
I had the Wolves on this.
I've been saying this.
Let's talk about the Wolves. See if you know them the best. You go first.
Just the vibes seem really fucking bad, man. Like,
okay, can I say something? I feel like Finch.
Let me finish.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, they just seem really bad. You know, Ant is trying his hardest, I'd say, to lead, and it's like an aggressive manner where he's basically calling his team out pretty frequently. And I don't know. I feel like they tried to save money because of the new ownership group, and it kind of derailed the whole project that they had going on. And I understand it, but I have a feeling that Randall is not going to be on this team for past February because
Damn,
I
can't
feel
even make it a year.
no, I would say it's kind of just like addition by subtraction if you get rid of him because the effort that Randall shows is not consistent with what they need defensively. Like what made them great last year was their defensive effort, and Randall is like he throws up a shitty shot and doesn't get back on defense, and you see them get beat in transition like 3 or 4 times a game, and it's just like maybe this works on other teams, but it will definitely not work for the Wolves when offensively they already tend to struggle, and yeah, defensively that was where they built their identity last year.
Before I pass it to Jesse, can I ask you a question about this?
Yeah.
So do you think that Ant is afraid to call out Julius in a way he was not afraid to call out Cat?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's afraid. It's like you don't know the guy.
Yeah, it's a new teammate basically. I feel
or just like the personalities. Like Cat was very willing to give up to number one and like say it's your team. And, like,
well, let's be honest about things though. Like Cat is a fucking generational talent. Julius Randle is a nice player. Cat was he was like a fucking great. He got underrated because people got like caught up in the like
because of our boy Johnny calling him Pussycat all the time.
Not even that. It wasn't just him though. It was like
just to confirm, you'd like to call Johnny TP.
Johnny TP.
No, it was just like Cat did a little bit. He was a little extra sometimes, and it kind of rubbed people the wrong way in this hyper masculine NBA culture that we sometimes see. Toxic masculinity on the NBA fandom online.
He's playing great. I think that's what makes the whole situation worse.
I love Cat, man. Like, I really like the guy.
25 and 12 or 25 and 14. It's like
leading the league in rebounds.
Yeah, go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, I have 2 things. One, I feel like I thought I had more faith in Finch to be able to put something else together with this group, even with Julius. But I do feel like what that actually does say is that Julius is just a fucking team killer, bro. Like, I have been saying this for so many years. Like, he is a black hole. Like, when you see him catch the ball on the wing, like, free throw line extended, the blinders go up, dude. And there is no way that he is passing that ball. And there has, I guarantee you, it's just, like, it's a basketball IQ issue where I guarantee you at, like, when you go into like a player meeting or whatever, he's not giving a fuck about the plays. He's not like paying attention to that shit. You know, I'm not trying to make an assumption, but like it feels like every team he goes to just like kind of commandeers the fucking offense. Does it not? It does.
Yeah, it's tough to say, dude. I feel like
makes the right read. Okay. He never takes the right angle on a drive, right? It's always like this very strange angle that he will take to the basket.
Never. He does average 20.
I think
he does get it sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's a little about this. There's someone in chat right now or in our group who knows this, like who knows the right play and how to do it, but chooses not to do it sometimes. And Mr. Benagoo, you can speak like that's you know, you know how to do everything right, but there's sometimes when I look at you, you're just like, I'm not going to do okay. I'm okay. I'm good.
Chilling,
yeah, why did it become a Brian Ether session? It's true, Ashwin. You're right.
But that's what I feel like. It's an apathy on the court. It's not because he's not like he doesn't know what to do or he's not paying attention.
It's the Sean Ahmad effect. You can be very smart in one way, but many other ways you don't know what that
Julius Randle's the Sean Ahmad of.
Yeah. You like that? You like that?
Okay. Who's next? It was me, right? Or anything else on Wolves? Did we cover Wolves? Andrew, anything on Wolves?
Yeah, I mean, real quick, I mean, I think Randall's a part of it, but just like DiVincenzo's sucked. Like, Ant is taking too many threes, honestly. Like, there's a lot of other stuff going on, but I mean, it's easy to point the finger at Randall, and he is a big part of it.
No, that's why I was saying
I think
like,
there's
you would
more.
figure that Finch would be able to put it together a little bit better. I don't know.
The GM came from Denver, right? Connolly, he's the guy who built the Denver Nuggets team. And so he got it right, and then he maybe overplayed his hand because what was happening before was looking right.
I do think it's a little dumb when people are like, oh, like New York won the trade. No shit, they won the trade. They got Cat, but it's like they had to do it for financial reasons. Like they didn't think they were going to win the trade because of losing Cat. Like they literally had to do it.
But isn't that a reflection on the ownership? rather than.
I mean, the Gobert. It all goes back to the Gobert trade and like extension, and like that's what screwed him over.
You know what's
Yeah,
crazy?
kind of.
Like, okay, sorry. This is gonna be a crazy tangent. I don't want to go on.
Okay. All right.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say like the player inflation like correlated with like the player, like the value of the players like correlated with like
Jesse
everything
becoming
else
an
got
amputee.
inflated, right? Like player inflation happened, economic inflation happened, like all this stuff happened at the same time. I feel like that's kind of weird. Like it all was. Anyways,
I didn't hear a word you said. I'm sorry. I was just looking at your disappearing arms. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. My turn, right?
Yeah.
Valid point. Continue.
Okay. So I'll put 3 out because we're running kind of late here. So I want to do the watchability tier list and Bool or Bust it with you guys if possible, but we're running really late here. So I'll just name 3 at a time. You say we can talk about one of them, okay? So these are 3 classic NBA names that have been a bust this year. Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
I mean, Kawhi's just injured, which we're not surprised about.
I'd probably go with Kawhi.
Kawhi getting the contract and then immediately disappearing is like so par for the course.
I feel like
it's been like this for so long, though.
Yeah, but it's just expected.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. Is that lowered the bustiness? I don't know, maybe.
I think there's bigger
because it's just been so busty for so long.
What about like? I feel like we didn't touch the Kings are a bust, and it's the DeMar trade.
Yeah.
DeMar doesn't fit at all. That he probably fits onto your list of players that have been bust.
But like going back to the Kawhi thing, I feel like that's a Bomber issue, right? Like he had this whole like thing in his head where he's like, I'm gonna make this sick LA team, right? It's like an ego thing at the end of the day. I'm gonna build this team. I'm gonna sign these guys, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it happen just like a startup, you know? I'm going to approach it like that, right? There's like a human factor to all this that, didn't get brought into the calculus of like the stadium and like trying to build momentum with this team, which, I feel like they did a decent job of, and you can't, at the end of the day, fault Bomber for the injuries to Kawhi and PG, right? But I feel like he should have maybe been less like greedy with like, oh, I got to do this now. Like I need to build this team now. I want to now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
are we not even like gonna give Lawrence Frank any of this? Is Bomber's decision? Is he just a puppet here? Is he like saying these things? It's both. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But who is James Harden? It's Andrew, right?
We do.
So let me ask you this. If they didn't have Kawhi on their books and they had given that money to Paul George and he's still gotten hurt and maybe he's like 75% of what he was last year, would the Clippers be in a much better situation? Like,
not much better.
Giving 4 years to Paul George.
Two shit choices. So, like, I don't know. Kawhi has the higher like potential I don't know if there's any universe where he can get healthy, but like, if he is healthy, he can lead you to a championship. So I don't get the gamble or like, I don't get the extension, but like there is a possibility it pays out. It's just extremely unlikely.
Do you guys disagree? Yeah.
Sorry. I disagree. I disagree a lot. I think that the NBA is not like a outcomes game. It's like aspirations, right? At least from the owner's perspective. Like it's like, what can we possibly do, right? And so for Steve to be like, oh, we're gonna open the stadium. I got these 2 guys, like these great players that are gonna sell tickets, and we're gonna create this whole new thing in LA. We're gonna take on the Lakers, right? Like that in his mind is a lot more of a weight in the equation than whether or not like they're gonna make the playoffs this year. It's more about like what you can sell the fan base, really, right? So in that sense, I feel like.
No, that was my point. Though, like you could sell. I actually disagree with Andrew. I think like if they had even a halfway decent Paul George with the James Harden centric team, like they could probably be a 6 or 7 seed in that. And
I think they're better off currently.
Yeah, you think they're currently?
Yes.
With no revenge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Where's
Like,
Rick?
what
I
is
love
tier
Brian.
7 seed? Like, what is mediocrity? Like,
Yeah, I think they're better off right
both.
now.
I think both positions are shit. But like, at least
Sure.
I kind of get the logic with Kawhi. I don't agree with it, but it's like there is still a possibility. Whereas like the other world, they're just mediocre.
You look at the team, and if Kawhi was back in like 80% of what he was, he's the perfect fit for the team. Yeah, they literally would be like a very difficult team to beat. So
shout out to Harden. I mean, they're a good team. Clippers W's.
They're pretty shit to watch, but they are decent. Yeah,
Clippers Dubs, dude.
All right.
I haven't watched a single Clippers game this year. I don't think, dude.
Me neither.
I've watched them occasionally.
They're really good defensively.
Yeah, they're just
interesting.
Harden is it's like trudging Harden is not very fun to watch at this stage.
Anyone else got any more busts? Yeah, I'm up quickly so you can move on to the watchability tier list. Or I can yell out who I have on my list and you guys can say yay or nay. Either works.
What watchability list?
On my biggest bust. So I have I thought we did 2 rounds, but we've been going for a long time here. So we can wrap up the biggest bust segment. So anyone else have any really itchy busts that need to get out?
No, I think I've got mine. Yeah.
All right, then let me yell out who else I have.
Get your bust
out. Fred VanVleet.
Oh my god! Don't get me started.
I don't want to hear about fantasy team, bro.
I think that's where we got derailed.
Yeah.
Steph Curry has also been disappointing.
Oh, we're just talking about your fantasy team now.
No, D'Angelo, not on my fantasy team.
Oh God,
D'Angelo
I can't do it.
This is horrible, dude.
MPJ.
I don't
Kuzma.
I think if something is associated with bust,
does
it also have high expectations, and I feel like
Kuzma and MPJ don't make
sense. Yeah, like not super high expectations on these guys.
No, the Gypsy did not have high expectations.
Jaime Jaquez.
Desmond Bain.
Nobody cares about Desmond
Bain. Evan Mobley.
Mobley's been
good. Too. Mobley's been really good.
How do you just ruin a segment like that?
He let Johnny plague him, dude. Mobley's been awesome.
Yeah, Mobley's been fucking amazing.
So I did some research and I went through. There's this guy who on the our fantasy subreddit, he posts like top 10 worst performers of the night, right? You guys see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
He also does top 10 best, but I went through like a couple weeks of top 10 worst performers, and there's this guy called Keontae George.
From
Utah, and apparently like he was on the list more than anybody else. So you guys know anything about this guy? I don't.
Yeah, Keontae George. Yeah. He has a lot of potential, but he's a perfect tank commander at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's extremely inefficient.
Yeah. Any other team busts?
Nope.
No, just
I think the biggest were Sixers, Wolves, Pacers, and Kings.
I do have another one, but I feel like
scheduling. Let's not forget scheduling.
Oh yeah, for teams in particular. But
that's my bad.
The Miami offense has been horrible to watch. It has been absolutely.
But that's expected.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to.
Would you say Bam's been disappointing?
Yeah,
it's not that he's disappointing. It's like it's very strange to watch their offense in the way that he's being utilized, as opposed to how he was being utilized in the past. He's basically like a free throw line extended screener and handoff guy, apparently, where maybe he can make the right pass into like a cutter off the weak side, or he's like pulling up from three.
Hit a midi.
Very strange like configuration of like sets that they've been running recently that make absolutely no sense to me and have not been like utilizing Bam to his strengths. I don't think like he's shooting atrociously from the field, dude. It's absurd how bad he's shooting. But anyways, that's my fantasy team now, so we can move on.
Okay. I guess anything else disappointing? Lakers. You don't have to mention it. Okay, for sure. Okay. So next we're gonna do the watchability tier list. We'll spend less time on this because I don't want to keep you guys too long, and I want to do Bool or Bust or top 5 with you guys. So I'll start from the bottom. I had the 5 I mentioned off air. Tier 5 is you would avoid watching these games at all costs. Tier 4, one step up, is like if you see it on the schedule, you just ignore it. Don't make any plans to watch it at all. Tier 3 is if it's on, you might watch it. Tier 2 is like you see it on the schedule, you look forward to it, and you make plans to watch it. And then Tier 1 is like absolute must see TV, like the prime basketball, if you will, like the best we have right now in the NBA. Okay, so I'm going to start from the bottom, and then when I yell a team that you think shouldn't be there, holler, and we can start the discussion. Okay, works.
Can I debate the tiers?
No, let's just
tiers are done, bro. You had your chance before.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah, it's done.
We're not factoring fantasy into this, right? Because everyone
Yeah,
has
no
different
fantasy.
fantasy.
Try to be objective here, okay, please. Pelicans.
yeah,
This is do not watch. This is do not watch.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good one. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if
Indiana.
watched
Zion was
two-
playing, but
I do like Herb Jones. That's about it.
Okay. Next one I said was Indiana.
No.
on
not like
5,
that.
I think
Yeah.
there might be a 4.
Yeah, maybe a 4.
yeah.
I'll save it for later. Moving up, Trailblazers.
5.
5.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah,
6.
probably a
Yeah.
5.
6 actually.
6
They're not-
Raptors.
They're better. The Raptors, yeah, they're up there.
No, the Raptors are a 4. Raptors are a 4.
What about the Trailblazers? Did you have something on the Trailblazers?
I think the Blazers are better to watch than the fucking Raptors.
I love
I
I
Raptors.
have
think
no
it's
fan
the
development of
another
Scoot,
team.
dude.
But
What?
No, dude, I have Scoot on my
watch the
roster.
development-
He's
you
a
can watch the
negative
development
5
of
on the
Scoot.
on the player.
Jakob
ratings.
Phenom, dude. Jakob Phenom.
I think the Blazers play really hard. I don't think the Raptors are entertaining to watch at all.
Okay. I guess don't go up it's not ordered from top
Yeah, I
to
feel
bottom
you.
within a team.
I understand.
Okay. Wizards.
Yeah, that's a bad
5.
team.
Okay.
definite 5, dude. They're
That's a
so
5.
fucking bad.
Utah Jazz.
5.
5.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I watch
All right.
it.
exactly.
Move-
Like
Moving up to do not plan to watch Heat.
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
Yeah.
I think 4 is fair.
Yeah, 4 is very fair.
Chicago.
I hate watch Bam. If he's having a really bad quarter, I'll turn it on and be like, "You're a dumbass, dude."
Who is he on
Chicago.
your team?
Yeah, he does. He's on his team.
Okay.
But
Sorry. Steve,
What
go
I'd say about Chicago is, yeah, they're probably a 4, but they are better to watch than I thought they would be.
They're
They're-
better to watch than the
The
Heat.
pace is a
At least
lot
it's interesting.
faster.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The
He's a
Heat
good
are a
coach.
bad watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still Billy Donovan, right? That's what I remember. Yeah. Okay. Charlotte.
I like
No.
Charlotte. I'd have them 3.
No, not
LaMelo's
LaMelo.
amazing.
LaMelo.
I'd leave him at 4.
Descent there.
LaMelo and Miller are great to
No,
watch.
3 at least. 3 at least
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll move it up. Philly.
5.
I have them as a 3 probably because they're hilarious.
I thought about that too.
Embiid is playing.
I'd say
Hey, a
4.
little hate watching. Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
I'd say 4 unless Embiid's playing, and then it's a 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't quote.
Oh,
that
actually,
either.
yeah. That in parentheses in Philly in 4 if Embiid's not playing, and then the next year if
No,
the-
there might be a
Embiid's-
1 if Embiid is playing. After what we
Okay.
saw tonight, there might be a 1 if Embiid is playing.
All right.
I need to look into this. Why he was so mad?
Yeah, I didn't see it actually.
Yeah. Sacramento.
That's
4.
complicated.
Low
3 or
4.
We're in 4. Yeah. Any
Probably
dissents?
3 or 4.
That's a for sure 5 for me.
I
would
think
never
they're a
watch-
4. 3 or
Jesse
4.
says 5.
Jesse's
Okay,
wrong.
Steve
Too
says 3.
emotional.
Yeah, Fox is
it's
a
not
bunch of
emotional, I
fun enough to watch.
I'm saying I just wouldn't watch it. I'm not hate saying it. I'm just
All right.
not
I
gonna
think-
watch it.
This is where it will get a little spicy. I put Phoenix here in 4.
I have them higher because it's a mess.
No, not 4. Not 4.
Yeah, I don't.
KD,
Or-
they got KD. They compete. They're a good team.
They're not very good. They're like a 3 or a 2, honestly. They could.
So
be a
if
2 'cause
if
of-
you
I'd say
see them
3.
on national television, you will mark that game and say, "I plan to watch Phoenix."
Depends
Yeah.
who they're playing.
On a
actually,
Tuesday
yeah.
or Thursday.
Depends on who
Yeah,
they're
that's what
playing.
I'm saying. It's on the play. Yeah, exactly.
Depends on. Yeah, I think
All right,
3.
3 then.
Depends on
3.
who they're
All
playing.
right.
Okay, fine. Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a 4.
4.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah. You're on 4 still. Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
Yes, Ender.
Yeah, I thought we were on 3 now, but no, they're definitely 4. Close to a 5,
Uh,
honestly.
Yeah,
LA Clippers.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I agree with that. 4 or 5. Probably 4.
4 to watch
I'll-
the
I'll
occasional
give them
Harden.
4.
Okay. That's where we're at. Okay. Now we're moving into 3. Okay. If it's on, I might watch it. Okay.
Oh, nice. My team made it to at least 3.
OKC, bottom of this. I mean, I guess
I have them as a 5.
Okay. OKC is a 5. Okay.
For me, yes,
That was
they're a
fine.
5.
No,
That's fine.
I just
watched
I don't I don't enjoy watching Shea at all.
Okay.
Maybe a 4 is fair.
I think 3 is good. I think 3 is fair.
Yeah,
should be a
3 is
three, but
fair.
they're
I'm just a
4.
hater.
Okay, Andrew says
I stay
4.
I stay 3 because they're a good team, so you just want to see them
You
how
have to
they
watch
play against other good
Oh,
teams.
Or
Why?
3.5.
It would actually
See,
be a
I
3 for me.
that's the problem
You're
with the
doing
league.
the same thing. That you can't do this now. You can't be
Quick-
like,
quick
oh,
question.
you can't do
No.
this now.
It's a problem with the league that I think the 2 best teams are 5s.
Who
No, it's a
actually
problem
won
with
the?
you. It's a problem with
who-
you.
Who actually watched the IST finals?
I watched
did,
a half.
I watched
I
it.
didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I didn't even.
I watched-
Yeah.
I watched one half. I watched
That's
the second
To
literally-
be
half.
That's
fair, it
highlights.
was on
Yeah.
early. Like I was planning to
Yeah.
watch it. I thought it'd be at the 7:30 slot, and by the time I came home, I think it was at the gym or something. By the time I came home, it was done. I'm not gonna
I
watch
think it
it.
started at 6:30, 5, maybe 6. It was a decent.
They're
time
still
to
working
start.
on it, dude.
I mean,
It's-
OKC being in there didn't help it, so that's why
Yeah,
I give
I
them a
think-
4.
They're pretty
Uh,
detestable.
LA Lakers
Yeah,
one
probably 3.
fucker.
3.
With bias.
As a homer,
This is- I
Two,
think
I
this is-
Biggest Laker fan,
I-
Jesse.
Two.
I'm not
Two.
trying
I
to say
give
I'm the
4.
biggest Laker
I give
fan.
it
I
2.
watch every game, so why would I not put it in 1?
I tuned
So-
into Laker games more than most.
Jesse
So
Well,
it's
says
you're
just-
right.
1. Andrew says 4.
Very disrespectful. I never
if I
claimed
was
to be the biggest
unbiased, if
Laker
I
fan.
wasn't a fan,
Fuck all of you guys. Sorry, I watched the games. You're all projecting because you wish that you watched every fucking game, dude.
I do, and it's not very good.
No, I don't want.
I can't wait for them. I can't wait for the game tonight against my Detroit basketball Pistons,
yeah.
bro.
Like this goes back to what I was saying before. It's gonna be on my second screen here. I'm gonna be playing something
Oh,
else.
that's
I'll
top
be doing
screen.
something, but the game will be on and I'll be watching. I said
Gotta
that.
see how Cade and
Alright.
Jaden follow up after that huge win against Phoenix the other night.
Jalen
All right,
Duren, dude. Baby Dwight.
No.
Jaden.
actually,
So are you gonna put it into 1, Asher, or are you gonna leave it in 3?
Well, I think Andrew put it at 4, so if anything, it should stay at 3.
Yeah.
I'm at
Fuck all
2
of
or
you.
3.
Fuck all of you, dude.
Because I watched a lot of Laker games.
All right,
It's
fine,
probably
fine.
a
I'll
2.
move it to 2.
It's probably
If
a
I'm
2
being
because of
Laker fan,
LeBron.
This is disgraceful, dude.
Fine, I'll move it to 2
Yeah.
because now there's more people and that's it. Okay, you happy, Jesse? 2.
It's not a cult, bro. We don't have to
Dude,
like
there's-
lie.
I'm just saying,
To be-
like, I watch
To be
every
honest,
game.
though,
I'm
there's
not
only
saying I'm
3
like
and
the
2,
biggest Laker
and
fan
I
in the
just
world, okay? I'm just saying, I watch
You're
every
throwing
game.
off the feng shui of the balance here, but it's fine.
Good.
It's fine. Cleveland.
I would
Yeah,
leave
I
it as
think
a 1.
the 2 or 3. I enjoy watching Cleveland quite a bit.
I have them as a 1, dude. They're very fun to watch. I like watching them.
They're really good too.
Must see TV for you, Jesse.
I watched most of the Cleveland run, yeah, I would say.
Brian, deep in thought. Anything?
Probably a 2.
Yeah, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're
Mitch.
pretty good. You want to see if
My
they can keep it
skill-
up.
I don't know. My skill is fucked up because I don't think there's any teams I would put in 1. Maybe not even 2 for me.
Yeah,
See,
well,
that's what I'm saying. I was going to debate the scales because it's like,
I have 1. I have like 2 or I have 3 1 teams.
I'll let you guys have your piece at the end. If you really want to say like why you don't think it's so skewed, Andrew, Jesse, by all means, no problem. Okay, but moving on. Boston 3,
Who?
Austin 3.
Bucks.
Probably 4 or 5.
yeah,
4 or
5,
5.
yeah, 4 or 5 for sure.
Just to see like
Boston.
yeah, Boston. Sorry.
It's stale.
The reason why I always said just to see where like the bar is kind of like in terms of
Yeah,
basketball.
I'd give them a 3.
That's fair.
They're the best team in the
Yeah.
league.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's
stale. Actually, Cleveland is the best team in the league.
Yeah,
now,
true.
yeah, sure.
I
I
feel
guess,
like
like-
Boston, like, you know exactly what you're going to get, so there's no reason to watch.
Yeah.
So that makes it a 5. Like,
True, could be true. Yeah,
it's not like the Thunder where it's like, oh, they're coming up and they're also good, where it's still kind of exciting. It's like, you know what you're going to get from Boston. If you look at the slate, you can look at the team. You're like, all right, they're going to win by 30 tonight, or maybe they'll win by 15 or 10, you know, or maybe it'll be competitive. It's pretty predictable, at least. That's my only hang up.
yeah. Next two are Magic Bucks.
Magic, I have a tier higher. Bucks, well, Magic if they're healthy, a tier higher.
Yeah,
Bucks,
if they're
I would
healthy.
have.
Yeah, if
3
they're
or 4.
healthy.
Yeah.
Right now,
yeah.
they're 4.
Yeah,
Both 3
yeah, that's
for me.
fair.
I watched the Bucks for the same
Three.
reason you guys watched the Sixers.
3
I
for
don't
me.
like the Bucks very
For
much.
both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
3 or
don't like
4 for
watching
the
the Bucks. As
They're
great as
funny.
Giannis is.
It's very funny to watch, dude. It's very
Why,
hilarious.
They're pretty damn good now. Now that they're good, it's actually
Yeah,
not
they're
as
good.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, now they're fine, I guess, but it was pretty funny for the beginning of the season. at
I
least.
agree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
This is
entertaining.
where Steve's will pop off probably, but I the Pistons next. And 3.
3 is fine for the Pistons. I really enjoy watching them, but I think I'm quite happy that you have them 3 and not lower. I was worried they'd be like a 4 or a 5 for you.
I agree
But
with
I
3.
actually think the Pistons are quite enjoyable, but I think 3 is fair. I have them as a 2, but yeah.
This
Cade is
next
fucking
one,
good.
Yeah, Cade is fucking good.
This next one, I feel like I can't. It's a poser pick because I haven't watched one of their games really, but I want to, and that's why I put it in this tier. But Brooklyn Nets, apparently they're very well coached.
Yeah, like a 5 for me.
What's
Yeah, like
the-
5 for me,
I
dude.
think it's a 5, dude.
I do not
Five
give a
star.
damn about
Bro,
the
easy
Nets.
5, yeah.
All right.
That was pretty poserish, Ashwin. You are right. That was pretty poserish.
Yeah, I can
Easy 5.
self-evaluate. Yeah, I'm self-aware. And then I had Philly and Embiid playing. We already talked about this. Then Memphis finishes this tier.
Memphis
Memphis
might be
is
like
a
You don't
2.
like watching
2,
Memphis?
Yeah.
I don't like watching Memphis.
So what would they be for you, Jesse?
Huh?
What
Like
would
a
it be
3
for
or
you?
4, like between 3 and 4, I would say.
Yeah, I think they're like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, Brian.
2 is high for Memphis. I feel
3
like.
for me.
Yeah, 3
All
is. I feel like 3 is fair. Yeah.
So this is recently for me, but this is again looking forward to watching these people's games. We now have pushed the LA Lakers into this by popular demand, but it kind of ruined this tier because there was 3 and 3. But bottom of this tier is San Antonio for the Wemby.
I have them as a 1, but I understand.
Okay.
I think
Are we on 1 or
I
2?
feel like
Right.
I
Wemby's number 1 hater. What do you think?
I feel like I'm trying to catch a lot of Wemby games, dude. It might
So
be
must
high
see
for me,
TV?
honestly.
Okay.
2-1
I
borders,
love-
honestly.
It's amazing.
Every time I see a Spurs game on, I'll tune in for at least a little bit, dude.
yeah.
For sure. That's
It's
exactly
just
it.
crazy to watch the way that he like affects shots. It's
How many
like-
blocks did he end up with today?
I have no idea,
8 or 9, I believe.
Yeah.
8. I guess they stopped being stupid and going at him.
but that's crazy, man.
Still stupid.
Well, yeah.
Next. Anything else on Wemby? I mean,
No, he's
that's
just
right.
fun to watch.
He's
Yeah.
extremely good.
Yeah.
Future best player in the league, probably.
Maybe
Number-
there's a loftier ceiling than that, honestly.
Hopefully. Next one is Dallas.
Amazing. Yeah. Love
Yeah,
to watch
2 or
Dallas.
3.
Two
2.
for sure for me.
2 for
And
I
I'm
don't
me.
even
curious
have
if Andrew's a
much
Dallas
Dallas.
lover. I'm curious what he thinks.
I mean, Luka's just fun to watch when he's clicking on all cylinders, and Kyrie too. Like
Luka
it's
is
just
the
kind
What
of
best.
what if they're bricking every shot? Is it fun then?
Yeah.
Just not getting back on D. Is
They
that
don't
is it
have
average
that
out to
many-
it too?
bad games, but
They've been
Luka's
very
the
good.
most fun player to
Yeah.
watch in the league, dude. In my opinion, besides Joker, it's Luka, like without a doubt.
yeah,
When he's popping off.
I
for
agree
sure.
with that. Yeah,
He's just so sick. He's so swaggy. He's fucking dank. Like he plays the game well on offense. Like he's a great watch.
All right. Savvy people will know that there's 4 teams left. I'm sure that Andrew knows and his brain has calculated what 4 of those are already. But
I know a couple of them. I haven't been keeping track too much,
That
but
too.
all right.
where's Atlanta?
So
Why is Atlanta?
this is the last of this tier is Knicks. Look forward to the game. I look forward to seeing how the Cat and Jalen Brunson synergy works. Offensive Tibbs team is just like a paradox to behold. Also, they play all the good players like every game, so it's guaranteed returns almost on an NBA game, which is in short supply here. Anything else on the Knicks?
I like a 2 or 3 for me. I'm not as high
Same.
as one.
Low
I
Knicks
don't-
make it hard.
yeah.
They make it hard on themselves a lot of games, and it's like that's why it's competitive. Right? They should be winning by more. So I don't know if that's enjoyable or not.
True. It's because their defense is bad now, but Cat, like when Mitchell
Bodega
Robinson
Cat.
comes back, it will help Cat, I think, if he comes back. I don't know, we'll see. So next tier, must see TV. Okay, bottom of the tier is Houston.
Yeah, they're probably my second or third most watchable team in the league.
I haven't been watching too much of them, so I can't.
Yeah,
I think they're
I mean
amazing.
I
they're
can't vote.
fun, but
I recuse my vote.
I don't watch any Houston games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Bill
I'm-
Simmons has been hyping them. So
Are they that?
I'm in
They're that
Thompson
fun to
is like-
watch?
yes.
They're gritty. I like that. I like the
Yeah, I
and
think
they're well
they're like
coached.
probably the second
They
best
do-
team to watch in the league.
They go
Yeah.
under some fucking bad offensive slumps. Like they don't.
I don't
have
care
that
about
many-
offense is ass though. Offensive basketball.
Yeah,
is
it's
stupid.
really, really bad offense.
No, but I don't care about offense. I care about grit. Grit is the way that you watch
And their
basketball.
best talent is
Yeah.
Şengün.
Yeah, and Amin Thompson is like fucking amazing to watch, honestly.
That's true.
And Tari Eason. I'm partial to both of the Terror twins.
Where would you put them, Andrew?
I'd leave him 3, but I understand why people would want him higher.
I feel like they're the beginnings of a new OKC.
I'll have to catch a
But
game.
much,
'cause
much
I
more
haven't bought
likable.
this.
They're much more likable than OKC. If you got FVV off the team, it would be a lot better. But
Yeah.
for now,
Yeah,
we love it.
Probably.
Next for me is Atlanta. I like seeing Trey's new look. They're
I do
It's
enjoy
like a 5
Atlanta.
for me, bro.
Huh?
That's like a 5 for me.
5.
It's like a
for
3 or 4 probably.
Yeah.
I too. I watch a lot
playing
of
on the
Hawks.
sideline.
No, 2 or,
Come on.
no, 2 or
Very
3.
Homer of you, Ashwin. You've just been watching a lot of Hawks.
No, they're actually pretty good to
No,
watch.
no,
So
dude,
you can
they're-
do 2 or
There's
3.
something brewing there,
Dude,
Jesse. Come on.
That Bucks, they were fun to watch in the IST.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree
basically
with that.
what I saw that game.
Jalen Johnson, even not on my fantasy team, like he's fucking dope, dude. I think he's gonna be
2010 and
like,
7
at least
or something.
I
something.
really like Jalen
Yeah.
Johnson. Like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his.
The reason
They
why
have
Trey's
Dyson,
much
right? They
scoring
have
is because of
Daniels.
Jalen Johnson's emergence. Like,
Yeah.
They have Dyson Daniels, right?
Yeah, Dyson
Dyson
Daniels.
Daniels. was
Dyson Daniels is
tremendous.
sick. Yeah.
His deflections are like off the charts. So
Yeah, first team All Siebes 2024, I believe.
there you go. We should do that soon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then of course number 1 Nuggets for seeing.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Wow,
Player.
number 1, Ashwin.
Yeah,
Well,
anytime like I see a TNT game with Jokic, I'll tune in for sure. Anytime.
I think they're like the clear cut number 1.
They would be
Just because
probably
of-
one tier
'Cause-
for me as well.
Yeah. of
Not
course.
only is it like you have a great offensive presence, there's turmoil underneath that he has to navigate, and so
Yeah.
like seeing how he overcomes it is like pretty interesting.
The hero, dude. The hero that we all need.
Brian, do you
Greatest
agree?
player we've all seen.
Who like okay, just you don't have to agree with my list. I got your opinions, but who would be your number 1 watchable must-see TV NBA team right now for each one of you?
Lakers, bro. Come on.
All right, dude. we get it, Jesse.
I don't.
Yeah.
Why am I being shit on for being a Lakers fan? I don't understand
You can-
why.
Okay, I watch every Dallas Cowboys football game. They're not the most watchable team in the
about watching
NFL.
more games than you. I just said
No,
I'm
no, no,
watching
no.
the Lakers.
This
But
is like
no,
some
there's a difference in
watchability.
watchability.
reality.
I watch every single Dallas Cowboys game. They're not the most watchable team in the NFL. There's a difference. Like I'm being a
For
fan.
Exactly.
me
I admit
personally,
that it's not a
he
great
asked
product.
who's your most watchable team. I said
No, that's
the
why we're
Lakers.
laughing. We're laughing
Because we asked you to drop that bias at the door, like at the beginning,
Yeah,
and
you
you were
didn't
unable
listen
to
to
do
the
that. Jesse. That's why we're laughing.
That's. I mean, that would be a lie. I watch. I watch. Lakers.
All right,
I'm not gonna
it's
lie.
fine. It's fine. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have given you a hard time. All right, Thieves.
Well, mine is obvious. It's the Nuggets. It's been the Nuggets for years now, and it'll continue to be the Nuggets for years after.
All right, Andrew.
Mine is close between Nuggets and Mavs, I think. But I'll go Nuggets also.
Nice.
Brian,
I go Mavs.
for the pop
I
off.
think the Luka pop offs are extremely fun.
So
He just
I
misses too
kind
many
of
games. That's my problem.
Can we not say that LeBron doing what he's doing in year 22 is objectively?
Give it a rest.
That was a big reason I said they should go too.
Huh?
That was a big reason why I said they should be tier 2 because of the LeBron factor. We don't know how much longer we're gonna get it.
So
Thank you.
I won't go through the whole tier list, but I'll just say my biggest misses were Atlanta was kind of high, Knicks were kind of high, Dallas was kind of low, Brooklyn was way too high, but everyone else
Yeah.
kind of agreed with.
Yeah, it was a good
generally
list.
speaking. Okay, very good. Do you guys have time for Bool or Bust top 5? If not, we can reschedule or we can do it with us 3. What do you guys think? Have like 20 minutes left?
I'm not. Whatever.
In game.
Steve's, I know Steve.
I could do 20.
What?
20? Okay, go quick though, all right?
Let's go quick.
Jesse?
Yeah.
Go quick. All right, so Bool or Bust. Anyone want to go?
I what we go doing Bull or Bust?
Yeah, go ahead. Do Bool or Bust, and we'll do top 5. Yeah.
No, I'll let somebody else go because I don't have a lot of Bulls or Busts. So
I'll
mine
go
will be
quickly.
relatively-
I have probably a controversial I feel like I always do bust for these. I never have complimentary, but
You're just a
quick
busted guy,
bust
dude.
is really. It's too nice weather right now. Like
That's a
it
good
should
one.
be fucking cold and overcast and dreary during Christmas winter time. And I want to be able to just like snuggle up and listen to my fucking Christmas music, but it's too damn nice and sunny outside right now.
It's still pretty cold though.
I mean,
Like, for us.
today was a little cold,
It's
but
like
like
60 degrees.
in
That's not
A
general,
little
Yeah.
Christmas magic for you.
I got my
It'll get colder, dude. It'll get colder.
Yeah, you got the Patagonia. Yeah, that's a nice vest, Jesse. I have to give it to you.
Thank you.
That is all.
I have
Brian?
a bull.
Okay, fine. Go ahead, Jesse.
The first Bool Boys baby, dude. Layla
Yeah,
Darman.
True.
Yeah.
Miss by us.
We have
Big
it.
miss
Yeah.
by us.
Huh?
Big miss.
We should have said something way earlier.
What? I didn't hear that. I wasn't there for that.
We didn't. We said we should have said something way
We should have
earlier.
said something at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Big miss by you, host Ashwin.
Yeah, that's my bad. My bad.
Why is that
I'm
big?
sorry.
No,
I'm sorry,
it's fine.
Layla.
No,
I hope
it's fine.
you will forgive me in the future.
It doesn't need to be called out at the beginning of the pod, but
No, it's a big thing. It was a big thing. It's a big thing.
it's a big bull. We're calling it out
Big
now.
bull.
Dude.
Yeah,
It's a big bull.
very good.
Very big.
Layla
Welcome,
Darman.
welcome to the world,
That
Layla.
picture with the headphones, she looks like Sophie. I see Sophie's face
Yeah.
in that picture, dude. It's
I
crazy.
saw Arjun's nose
I do see that as well. Yes.
and Arjun's chubby cheeks. But everything else was Sophie's.
It sounds like she's a good mix of both parents then as well.
Yeah,
basically.
Very cute. Very cute. Brian, anything?
My one main thing is, I mean, obviously just travel related. In Vietnam, they have Grab, which is like their Uber, and it's just insanely cheap. Insane. Like it's like $10 to take a 45-minute Grab from the airport to like a hotel. And then, in LA, if I go to my place, it's 15 minutes. It's like $30. You know what I mean? Anything under
These are cars.
this is just Uber. Yeah, Uber cars. Yeah. I mean, you can order scooter also, but you can just order cars, and they're pretty
What about
fucking cheap.
rickshaws?
Did you use GrabPay, Brian? Do a lot of people use GrabPay?
I was not using GrabPay. I was just using cash or card, honestly.
Okay.
But that is my Bool Grab because it's so cheap.
Quick question: how accessible was using your credit card abroad?
Pretty accessible. I mean, I still carried a good amount of cash, but I didn't have to use much of it all the time.
Ashton, do you have any deep trauma about credit cards abroad that you'd like to share with the group?
Yeah, I mean, it would be you. It wasn't me, dude. It was you. Are you trying to wait? What? Are you... All right, dude. You should tell that story sometime. You should tell that story sometime on the pod, Jesse. I'm sure everyone would love to hear it.
But that was my only one
Okay. Siebes?
to get through it.
I mean, I just have a basic one. It's the big Atletico win over Barcelona this past weekend. It really was very nice. It's one of those things I actually don't think I had ever seen. I was thinking to myself, I don't think I've ever seen this happen before. And then they said Atletico hasn't won at Barcelona since 2006, and I was like, oh, I legitimately haven't seen this happen before.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Can I ask a second question about that?
Yeah.
So, does the team not like Sorloth? Like, what's the deal there?
What do you mean?
Like, generally, you can tell in the goal celebrations who likes who, and like, if a player goes directly to the player who assists, then generally they have a good relationship. If they run in opposite directions, I feel like they're trying to split the celebration. And for that play, everyone went to the right back who made the play, and no one went to Sorloth after he scored until
It
like
was a pretty fucking incredible run that was made. I also think it was pretty shocking.
Incredible. The finish was incredible.
Finish was beautiful, but I think I don't know. I think it was just like shocking. If you were watching it live, it all happened in slow motion, and it was like pretty unbelievable to watch. I mean, Kubarsi had to make one of the bigger fuck ups, honestly, that you could make as a defender. It went like right through his legs when he was trying to clear it.
Yeah,
I kind of just feel like it was like a shock situation, and then I don't know, sketching that something bad would happen in the 1 minute left, like the Barca Mafia would get their hands on the referee and extend the game too long. But yeah, that was like I don't know. It was pretty sketchy. It was the first time Simeone. He always runs down the tunnel and doesn't shake hands after the match. It's just like he shakes them before. But to see the look on his face as he was running down the tunnel was extremely funny. It was like the biggest smile I've ever seen on his face. Yeah, it was very nice. That would be my main Bool, and I agree with Andrew's bust about the weather being not cold enough. Although nights are pretty cold, I will say that.
Yeah, nights are very cold.
And early mornings are also so cold, dude.
Yeah.
45 this morning when I woke
up. To me, my bust is I was taking Cosmo for a walk at 9 o'clock. It was like a little before 9 o'clock, 8:30 to Meadowood, and I let him off the leash. We go across towards Canyon View, and I kid you not, for the next like 30 minutes, we cannot get back to my car because there's sprinklers everywhere. We cannot walk back. Every time I would walk some way, the sprinklers would turn on, and like it's all wet as fucking money, and I have to go back, and like I circled around, and I tried to come down on Meadowood itself, and I kid you not, there was like sprinklers over the sidewalk. Every sidewalk was drenched wet. Like it was infuriating.
It sounds like such a classic Ashwin predicament, dude.
It is. It was, and I would be like, it's okay if I was gone at like 10 or 11 or something, but it was 8:30. Like it was a perfectly normal time to take your dog for a walk in the park. And I feel like that's ridiculous that one, all the sprinklers were like out to get me. And then two, that they go on the sidewalks too. Like they just cross over the sidewalks. It's just chaos. We can't.
It happens sometimes when you're walking your dog.
They have the sensors.
Yeah. They have the sensors.
30 minutes is excessive.
Yeah, I couldn't get to my car. I guess a quick Bool is I started playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Very good game.
Very good game.
Told Andrew it's like 75% is it just like a horse riding simulator, but it's so beautiful that it's nice. You don't mind. Okay. Anything else? We can move on to top 5 Christmas songs as proposed by Andrew. And I suppose one of them could be Song of the Week as well, because it's Christmas in 2 days. So, okay. Who wants to start?
I can go.
All right.
At number 5, I'll walk through these fairly quickly. But at number 5, I have All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah Carey. I think it's just it's got to be out there. It's got to be out there on the lists.
Right.
At number 4, I have Feliz Navidad, because it's actually such a hype-ass song. People get hyped to Feliz Navidad, bro. People get fucking hyped to Feliz Navidad. So I have that at number 4. Number 3, I have the Christmas song Nat King Cole. I think it's like a classic, jazz, luscious beats. And then number 2, I have Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, Ryuichi Sakamoto. It's like a jazz pianist, basically. And it's just like his famous song. Super sick artist as well. And then number 1, I just have the whole Charlie Brown Christmas album by the Vince Guaraldi trio, because I think that's
Very
just
nice.
like a goated Christmas album, and hits the Christmas vibes perfectly. No real honorable mentions as I slap that together, but that's my top 5.
We're gonna save Andrew for the last one because he knows this.
He's the guy.
Very well. He's the guy. But a good list, Ryan. Feliz Navidad was a really good call. Jesse, Siebes, me.
I can go.
Yes,
All right.
I'll go.
I don't know if I have 5. I have so one
Top 5, brother. we need 5.
I'll do as many as I can.
Do you need a minute?
Huh?
Do you need a minute? Should we go to Siebes or me, and then we'll come back to you? Do you need a minute?
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
You want to go or me, Ashwin?
I'll go.
All right.
Number 5, Sleigh Ride. I think we played this in the orchestra. Siebes played it probably.
Yes, probably, yeah.
With the whip and stuff, and then all the effects. It was very, very nostalgic. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee, Jingle Bell Rock, Wham! Last Christmas.
I forgot about that one somehow.
Yeah, when I think of the singer of Wham, I think of like That's kind of the look Jesse's going for right now. It's very similar.
I don't know if that's very nice to say. Jesse's trying to be George Michael.
George Michael.
I don't know
very similar.
any
They
of
look very
that.
similar. If you saw,
I don't think they do really.
Oh, okay. I saw the picture when I saw the album.
George Michael, they are.
And then
I would
one,
have beef with you over that if I were Jesse, honestly.
Why? He's a perfectly upstanding young gentleman, Sebastian.
Okay. Right.
Number 1, Doris Day, Christmas Waltz.
Nice. Those were good.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I have my 5.
You go. All right. I'll go before Andrew. You can go.
So my 5th one is the entire NSYNC Christmas album. If I can do that, if that's allowed.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah.
I did a whole album. That's fine.
Give us a song because I don't really remember that one.
They do like covers of like
they did covers.
Christmas songs. They don't have any original songs really.
They slapped from what I recall.
They do slap them.
It was nice, yeah.
Number 4 is Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
That's chill.
Okay. Number 3 is Percy the Puny Poinsettia. I don't know if you guys have heard that one, but it's a very actually I feel like you would love this song, dude. It's about a plant who, he's at the nursery on Christmas Day and nobody wants to take his plant home, and then finally at the end of the song somebody wants to take Percy the Puny Poinsettia home. It's great.
Poinsettias for Christmas?
No, Percy the Puny Poinsettia. Yes, but people give poinsettias for Christmas. Yes. Okay. Number 2 is the Christmas is Here song with like the chorus of like when they're like popping off, Christmas is here. You know that one?
Yeah.
That one. And then number 1 is The Night Santa Went Crazy by Weird Al Yankovic, dude.
Ooh,
that's the best.
Okay.
That's the best Christmas song by far.
I think I've heard that.
It's amazing.
I'll listen to it as well. But the one you showed me, I like. It's my vibe. Jesse.
Which one?
Percy.
Percy. Yeah. It's fire, dude. It's fire.
Good. Yeah. All right. Good list, Jesse. Very unique songs for sure. Siege, it's up to you.
All right. So number 5, I'm gonna go with Mr. Grinch. I'm a big fan of the You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch song. Yeah,
of course,
tremendous. Yeah. Then number 4, I'm gonna go with "Merry Motherfucking Christmas" by Eazy-E.
Nice.
Great song. Yeah.
It's a good song.
3, I got "Little Drummer Boy." I'm a big fan of the "Pum-pum-pum-pum." Yeah, "Pum-pum-pum-pum." One of my favorite refrains in a song. Number 2, I got "Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto." I think Nate Dogg sings the chorus on that tremendously. Anytime you can get Nate Dogg on a Christmas song, I think it's a good thing. And then number 1, I got the "Snow Miser" song. I'm a huge fan of this. It's like, "I'm Mr. Snow." That song. I have a doll that plays, or a big dancing thing. It's a big fixture in my household. The Snow Miser.
I can't.
You have to look it up. It's from a. I don't remember.
For posterity. It's for posterity.
Mr. White Christmas, I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. 10 Below.
That's good. That's very good.
Call me Snow Miser. Yeah,
what a great baritone voice that you have.
Yeah, thank you. Well, he sings it in like a very baritone, hearty voice. It's very enjoyable.
Nice.
When I hear that song, I know it's Christmas. But then for honorable mentions, I got "Ballin' on Christmas" by Jim Jones, the Saint Brick intro by Gucci Mane, and then All I Want for Christmas Is You is kind of, I could have gone higher, but I felt like it would be on somebody else's list, and I wanted to illuminate the light on these other wonderful Christmas songs.
Very nice.
Nice.
Getting that ethnic urban element into it. Very nice.
All right, 70-year-old man.
Yeah. I do feel like my list is very white.
All right, Pops.
Not very natural. Should I just go?
Sorry, let Andrew go. Yeah.
All right. So number 5, I got "Baby It's Cold Outside." Just it would be higher if it wasn't for the lyrics and getting almost canceled, but it's a
Yeah,
great
you're
song.
pretty.
Still
I
don't do it.
Dr. Khan,
Still
I know
don't
about
do it
that one.
too
Dr.
hard.
Khan.
Good at least. Nice. You're doing great,
love
guys.
Dino.
The last
I love
20 seconds has been great.
I love Dino, but it's a bit much.
Number 4, I got "Classic." It's the most wonderful time of the year. I feel like anytime you hear that at the store, just like it rings in the Christmas season. Number 3, I got the "Christmas Time Is Here" song from the Vince Guaraldi trio as well, the Charlie Brown. Number 2, most classic, I got "Let It Snow." And then number 1,
Good one.
I actually had "Feliz Navidad" because that's by far the
That is
hypest
the best
Christmas
one.
song.
Yeah, I mean,
It's hype,
Yeah,
dude.
that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Yeah. Any honorable mentions?
Yeah, also Mariah Carey, but no. Yeah, I mean, I do love some Christmas music. They're all classics, always bring in good times.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that Feliz Navidad has to be song of the week then, undoubtedly.
100%.
Don't need
Play it
a
out.
recommendation from the homies. All right, yeah. So thanks for joining, guys. You took like an hour and a half of your time, so always good to see you guys. Or Merry Christmas. Hope we can get in
Definitely.
touch over the next couple of weeks. And
Yes, sir.
Brick Jesse, given the
Christmas cheer, dude.
Brick Jesse.
Brick
Yeah,
Jesse. Let it be known.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for doing 52 pods with us. So see you guys next week. Thank
Yep,
you.
big milestone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.